Hello, I'm Ian O'Dwyer, Director of ODOM Movement. I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you the journey from an ODOM movement perspective. People are using ODOM movement now a lot to try and further their own businesses, their own coaching and their own quality of life. And I feel it only fair, if they're going to invest into ODOM movement, they need to understand where ODOM movement has started from, how it's arrived at the destination of where it is currently and where it's going to go to. So hopefully what I can do in this next few minutes is start to give you an understanding and appreciation of how this has all evolved. I would break this journey so far into probably 4 sections. I would break it into 75 to 92, which was what I call the pre-industry, before I was even in the industry. I would call 1997 to 2002 the early industry, of when I first got into the industry. We'll look at the 2006 to 2010, which is what I call the mid-industry. And then we'll go into 2014 and beyond, which I call the now. If we go back to 1975 to 1992, 1975, that pre-industry time, was from the age of 13 onwards. And what that gave me at the age of 13 was a clear understanding of what I wanted to do. I wanted to play AFL football at all costs. I had 8 boys and 1 girl in my family. Most of the boys were very, very good footballers. One of my brothers was recruited by an AFL club. That was my dream, to follow in his footsteps. Unfortunately, he never made it. He broke his neck. So it was interesting because from a very young age, my desire, my passion was to succeed in being able to condition my body and to hopefully allow it to become the best it can to achieve whatever my goal may have been. And it was interesting because AFL wasn't the only sport I played. My dad was a horse breaker, so horses have been and still are a huge part of my family, my passion still. I played tennis, basketball, cross-country running. It was an amazing time because all of a sudden we had this opportunity to start to diversify in sports. And it was interesting because when we started to look at how we conditioned ourselves for these sports, was very much that traditional type of strength and conditioning type of mentality. We did lots of sagittal plane motion, lots of 5K, 10K, 20K runs. We did lots of sagittal plane, linear type lifting. So it was interesting because when I looked at the reasons why, when I revisited the reasons why, especially in 92, 93, when I gave away playing AFL football, and I revisited what I needed to be successful, it was kind of interesting because really the games that I played was all about multi-directional movement. We were twisting, we were turning, we were jumping, we were tackling, we were kicking both feet, we were marking over our heads, we were tumbling to the ground. Very little time, if any, was spent in a sagittal plane. That era gave me the ability to be able to play, and play is something that I am just so passionate about. It's something that it fills me with joy. It de-stresses me. It allows me to discover my boundaries, which is something I feel, especially for boys going through that adolescent time and going into adulthood. It's a really important path to develop them, but not just develop them physically, but develop them mentally and emotionally. And also, coming from a big family, leadership was something that was instilled into me. Number 7 brother broke his neck, number 8 brother had a triple antigen injection and became intellectually disabled. And then me, I lost my eye when I was 3. So the last 3 brothers all had a journey, all had a story of their own. But part of our growing up was to look after Wayne, number 8. So leadership for me was something that was instilled at a very, very young age. So when I was playing sport, even though I wasn't qualified, I was always digging in to find out what was the best way to train. How could I further develop my ability to get stronger, to last longer, to have better cardiac strength, all of these sorts of things, way before I'd even thought about getting into the industry.